And do you see yourself as part of a voting bloc?
No, no. I was going to bring that up because when you ask questions about leadership style, okay, I tend to follow the what we call the servant leadership model, which is basically that I, as the leader of the organization, serve my members, okay, and stylistically that includes engaging people in a very compassionate way, and I'm doing that. So obviously I've reached out to you guys, to the CSA, and to a number of people that have been mentioned in your article because I want to talk to them. So the goal is to basically to engage people, to understand where they're coming from, and then to potentially compassionately collaborate. Okay, so and I try to negotiate win-wins with people, and that's been my philosophy. Certainly, when I read Stephen Covey's work on 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which I very much like, and it influenced my life today, talks a lot about negotiating win-wins with people, and that's what I try to do. And the president has a tremendous influence on the culture of the organization. Okay, and that's what I am encouraging people to do. That every president has their style of doing things, and I like to basically. I don't prefer to be directive versus actually inspiring people and finding out what they're passionate about, and then helping them in that to basically do the things that they love to do. So, for example, on the board. There are 9 of us, and so I'm getting small groups of them together because this is again a working board. And Dominic Cimbella has a lot of passion for internet marketing and education, so we're going to put together a webinar. And this is one of the things that I like too, because I'm a teacher, along with Jane Yu. So we want to put together a webinar that's going to provide free CEUs to the membership, and this is a way that we can have an immediate impact on our members, particularly financially, since CEUs cost money. And all of us need them. Okay, so I want to focus, those three people, including myself, on that particular project. And then I'm basically doing this with all members of the board, where I'm saying, okay, what is it that you are passionate about? What is it that you want to contribute? Okay, and then let's focus you in that direction. Because then I don't need to be directive. As I often tell people, and I tell my students this, that when people feel passionately about something, you don't have to tell them to do anything, because they're very passionate about doing it. You don't have to motivate them and whatnot, because they want to do it. Okay, so that's the whole point of the way I do things, is I want to find out what motivates people, and then have them work on those things, and it requires minimal effort on my part.
Okay.
What do you feel are going to be your biggest challenges in the first couple quarters?
The biggest challenges, are you talking about via profession, or are you talking about organizationally?
For the organization, so.
Organizationally, there are a number of challenges. One is there are obviously people that feel very strong in the field. And so I'm basically engaging them and seeing what their perspective is and how I can help them. Okay? So, because obviously there's been a lot of negative energy, shall we say. And if I want to use the application of yin and yang here, there's a certain amount of heat out here, so I'm going to apply calm or coolness. And where there's certain things that are cold or not as hot as I'd like it to be. For example, I like the organization to be more focused on, again, providing member benefits. If you look at the mission, for example, okay, when we actually look at things, when people are in challenge, when I talk to my patients about this, patients, organizations, whatever, you always want to go back to the basics. So as far as a person, you want to look at your health, right? The health of your personal health, as well as the health of your relationships with your family and friends, okay? So organizationally, when I want to go back, you go back to the mission. What is the mission, right? And you quoted that in your first article. What is the mission? Right? The mission is to support the members and our profession, right, via education, right, occupational resources, media support, and legislative advocacy. So it's really a question of focus. I want to focus more on the educational and occupational aspects of the organization's mission.
A big part of the importance of bringing up an organization has to do with image. The AAAOM has had quite a few image problems in the last few years. As now the current president, how do you see yourself improving that image?
Well, there's having talked to a number of people there, and certainly reading that in your article as well. I think there's perception that the organization has not been sensitive to the needs, desires of the membership. So again, engage the members. Okay, so what was done before, from what I understand, but I don't know this for certain, is that there were occasionally webinars that were done where the membership could ask the current leadership. So I'd like to see that reinstated, but like I said, I have to work at the logistics of that. But certainly what I'm doing now is on a personal level is actually calling the number of the organizations or people and engaging them myself, and then finding out for myself what the issues are, and then hearing them out, and then seeing about if I can actually help them, or at least bring about to an amicable resolution.
And one of the other big issues with AAAOM is issues regarding membership. How do you see your role in increasing your membership at this point?
That is a significant topic on the organization right now. When one joins an organization, you always have to look at it, what's in it for me, right? What is the benefit of joining the organization? On a personal level, a lot of times I often view my membership as kind of a donation to the organization, really. I don't really look at it that way. But not everyone looks at it that way. So you have to look at it in terms of what is the benefit of joining an organization, okay? So this is one of the reasons why when I look at how quickly can the organization make a difference in someone's lives? Okay, so I looked at that, and the board looked at that, and the best way we can do that is basically, again, offer free CEUs, for example, because people have to spend money for that, and we live in tough economic times. So if they don't have to spend money for that, where we can actually provide something like that, that would be a really good thing. So so I want to try to have as much impact as I can, because I like to be able to change the perception of the organization. And I do ask people to be patient about it, because I can't just wave my hand and make everything all right. I wish I could, but can't. But I can certainly see that happening within 3 to 6 months.
Are there any other organizations that you're talking to that are making comments to you about ways that the AAAOM can improve that you feel are going to impact the direction of the organization?
Again, the consistent theme with that is, again, providing direct benefit is what I'm saying. I think the organization was focusing more on the intangibles, again, legislative advocacy, competency models, and whatnot. And I want to focus more on the basics again, boots on the ground approach. Let's, again, get some benefits to people that they don't have to spend money for. And that's an immediate impact they'll feel right away. And let's see if we can get them actually acquiring more business skills if they don't have them, so then they can be more successful in their practice. So, business skills are really critical in the success of any business, and I tell my students this, and they sometimes get upset with me, because having been an accountant before, the majority of businesses, I would say, I don't know what the statistics are, maybe within 2 to 5 years, 80-90% of them fail. Okay, that's just the statistics. Okay, 1, because they're undercapitalized, and 2, they're poorly planned. And I tell my students this. So if you don't want to be one of these statistics, then you need to plan. The other thing is that building a practice is difficult. And if you're looking at success across anything, it doesn't really matter what it is, it requires grit. I don't know if you guys have heard this thing. It's kind of a term that's being used by an article by Angela Duckworth, where he talks about grit, which is basically passionate perseverance. Now, I've been in practice 14 years. I had a practice where it was work comp-based practice associated with a hospital, and I was there from 2000 to 2004, and then the law changed. So I basically had a practice, and it disappeared overnight. So I had to rebuild it again, because it was basically, I didn't have a private practice at the time. So I built a private practice, and then the economy crashed in 2008. I had a 50% reduction in my revenue, and I had to build it back up again, which I've done it again. So this requires some grit, and so I tell my students that you need to be focused, you need to be passionate, and you need to persevere. Otherwise, you're not going to be successful in whatever you pursue, and that really needs to be emphasized.
And what would you say to someone, an acupuncturist trying to choose between joining the AAAOM at this point and joining their state association and the CSA proposed association. What would you say to somebody who's trying to make a decision about which way they should go in terms of joining a state association or the AAAOM at this time?
Okay, having taught at 3 schools, sometimes people ask me, what is the best school to go to? Okay, and it's the same thing. You have multiple organizations. Which is the best organization to go to? You look at each organization, you look at each school, and you see which one agrees with your personal values. Okay, look at the benefits that it offers, and you make your choice accordingly. It's pretty straightforward. You know, you have to be happy with what you're buying. Okay, so that's what I would say. Be a discerning shopper. So that's why, again, this is why I want to improve the benefits that are directly available to the members of the AAAOM, and so I want to do it relatively quickly.
Okay. And you've talked a lot about improving the benefits that members will get with AAAOM. What else would you like to share with the profession about the future of AAAOM at this time?
Well, again, we go back to the mission, okay? And again, it's a question of focus, really. And so I think that there was somewhat more of a focus on, again, more on the intangibles, and we're focusing on the tangibles. I would ask that, again, people just take a wait-and-see attitude, be a little more patient, and then judge the organization as well as me by what we actually do, okay? And you know, I'm really working hard to build a lot of goodwill, and but these things take time. So I'm spending time basically mending fences and building alliances so that we can all move forward in a very positive way, because there's been a lot of negative things going on here. And you know, I'm not going to even get into the reasons behind all that in particular, because that really is the past, and not to sweep the past underneath the rug. What I often tell people is the good thing about the past is that you learn from it, not to focus on it. Okay, so obviously I've learned from the experience of all people involved with this, both in my organization and outside the organization. Some things they did well, and some things they did not. And so I want to learn from their experiences and not repeat the things that they didn't do well, and then obviously add to that.